100 discs, one winner. The biggest giveaway in disc golf history.
Hello and welcome back to MDG Media. We are kicking off the 2025 Krokhol Open just south of Oslo, Norway. This is round one front nine MPO feature card coverage on the #1 rated course in the world. I'm Connor Wood, and with me as always, Finnish superstar Mr. Elias Luukkonen.
What's up, Connor? What's up, viewers? Nice to be here once again. We are hitting the main stretch of the European season. Krokhol Open, one of the most anticipated events, #1 course in the world, and we have pretty much all of the American top players coming. And I bet they are absolutely chugging down on this tournament as Ricky, last year's winner, last year he just destroyed the competition in this exact tournament.
When he is on, a force to be reckoned with. Local legend Knut Valen Håland, not exactly to this course, but a Norwegian player who is much beloved by the local crowds.
Local knowledge gonna come in handy on this course, as our reigning world champion Isaac Robinson, incredible backhand player. Interesting to see how he attacks this course, as you do have some holes that very much favor the forehand.
And highest rated MPO player in the world, Gannon Buhr. Many consider him to be one of the greatest players of all time, already looking to cement his place in disc golf history. We kick it off here on hole 1. This 133-meter par 3 has OB lining the left and right side the entire way. You find the basket perched atop a hill with a significant slope to the right and a slightly softer one to the left, but given that the right-handed backhand will most often be moving to the left and the OB is tighter, that's the most common mistake players will make. Alternatively, you can simply lay up to the right side of the hill, pitch up there, and take your 3. It's not a bad score, but it is a hole you can attack if you can land it up there.
It's a little bit windier than the practice days. What kind of adjustments will you make?
Yeah, I mean, you got to take what the conditions give you. I mean, you definitely ain't going to be scoring as good as you would without wind out here, and you got to be cautious of that, because a lot of these tough greens, have to get a lot of birdies by throwing it close, not necessarily putting. You're not going to be making a lot of C2 putts if it stays this windy. That's just not in the game plan. It's not a high percentage way to get birdies. So throwing inside the circle, making some putts, and course management is going to be key.
Any nerves?
Not too much now, but I think when I'm going to tee up on hole 1, then I'm probably going to feel it.
And you're used to playing in Sula where the winds is quite a normal thing, so you might have an advantage out here?
Yeah, I think so. I really like to play in the wind, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, I think just trying to stay in balance, disking down to slower speeds, maybe some more overstable stuff, and just keep it in the fairway. The rough is insanely tough out here, and so you really just want to stay in the fairway as much as you can.
Gannon, how you feeling coming into today's round?
Good. We haven't had this much wind out here yet, so that was a bit of a surprise. I was watching scores and I was curious on why people weren't shooting better, so that seems to be the reason. And it looks like you're going to want to throw some more overstable stuff today. So I'm going to try to probably have a little bit of a safer game plan, and then birdie the holes I know I can birdie without bogeying. So that's how I'm looking at it.
Move the quiet sign line until the cameras move. So a lot of times the players, I'm gonna try my best to get you in good spots to view. Sometimes we might advance to other spots, so just look at.
You still playing good right now? Yeah.
It's really good. It's like near Krokhol.
First on tee from Scottsdale, Arizona, US. Team Discraft, World Champ 2016 and 17. Make some noise for Ricky Wysocki.
Talking about making some noise, make some noise for the announcer. You might have seen him last week. PCS Open. Incredible voice for announcing. So Ricky here going inside. This is definitely not the line he's trying to take, and that is honestly a pretty shocking mistake on hole number 1.
Fra Fiskarstrand, Langevåg, IL, Disc Golf. Team Discmania. Extra applaus for Knut, Valen, Håland.
Knut has been playing this event for a long time, I believe even going back to 2015. Has history here on the course since he was just a young man. We will look to see him throw a shot further to the right, play more with the hillside. That is much further to the right, but on pure Heiser is playing for that par and has done more than enough for a simple pitch up the hill.
Team Latitude 64, World Champ 2023-24. Give it up for Isaac Robinson.
Isaac, of course, no stranger to playing on this stage, though I would bet a lot more money on him if this was a major. I feel like he always picks up his best game at the major tournaments. The Elite Series, not really so much, but this drive on hole 1 looking incredible. And still OB left. Or I'm not sure if he actually went past the OB on the left.
US Team Discmania. Make some noise for Gannon Buhr.
Gannon has incredible consistency. It's what has allowed him to rise through the ranks to the highest rated MPO player. Also has the highest ever rated tournament average throughout 3 rounds. This one has a nicer height than Isaac's. It's piercing, and that should allow him to prevent a significant fade left. You see his skill set on display there. Touch and power, he has it all.
Beautiful angle control with a disc that apparently he's actually trying to replace. So he's trying to find a newer version of the same exact disc, and even posted on his story that he needs an exact replacement for this disc as Knut. Aggressive bait, a risky run on a hole that does produce a lot of rollaways.
Ricky surely giving that a bid from the left side OB. That was a chance to save his par. It flies by him. Isaac was in fact safe, was able to throw far enough past the basket to avoid the OB left. Will be left with a short par. Knut.
Solid on the green. I'd say putting is definitely his strong suit. Has that very direct, traditional European spin putt. Very good in the wind. That's going to be one of only 7 birdies on the day on this hole number 1. Playing incredibly difficult for the birdie. Still 71% of the field getting a par. And Ricky going to be losing a stroke to most of the field with that bogey. As hole number 2 is much easier for the birdie as 1. It's one of the more stress-free drives on the course. I feel like it's difficult to find danger on the drive. You're throwing uphill with a bit of a turnover, usually going distance driver. Try to keep it adequately high where you get over the hillside, but hopefully not high enough where you actually fade into the left side woods. If you do have to pick a side to miss on, it's definitely going to be left though, as there's that OB on the right. Approach, you're playing into a right to left hillside. Rather throw it in line with the basket or just at least not fading to the left. I think it's important that even if you land on the left side of the basket, at least you want that fade to the right with the forehand or that slight turn with the backhand.
Get over, please, get up.
Calls for it to get over, and it does. That will leave him in a reasonable position, straight look. You mentioned, Elias, that right to left sloping green. I do think that it is more comfortable to be putting up the hill than down at the basket. And Knut cresting That gets a short cut roll, but keeps him also in position, just short of Gannon. Isaac, I expect a similar line, perhaps a little bit more turn. Both of those guys ending more left than I believe anticipated. We see a more traditional shaped line from Isaac there. And from where he is, it would most commonly shape for a forehand. We know he is a backhand predominant player. Interested to see how he chooses to approach this green.
And Ricky bouncing back after that bogey on one. Looks like his release is all right. Maybe it was just a poorly executed shot on hole number one. I think that's always interesting when you have a terrible shank from a player on hole number one. How do they come back from that? And it looks like Ricky is fully all right. Now this play from Knut, he's trying to glide it on the right side. Just too much turn on that disc. Some unexpected wins in today's round. A lot of players were struggling with reading the wind.
Gannon opting for an overstable forehand. Gets it on a soft Anheuser release. Beautiful fade just in time, skimming the tree line. Another textbook execution, 2 holes through 2 by Gannon. Isaac playing the backhand as we mentioned, but able to control the angle and that slight understability so nicely. There was never really any fade leftwards, just lands it flat.
And even Ricky being furthest up the fairway, trying to match the hillside with that backhand, and great angle control, great speed control. It's a luxury on this hole to be parked. I feel like most of even the good shots end up somewhere between 5 to 10 meters.
Knut, bit of an unfavorable ground play there on his putt approach. But we go to Isaac first. Very smooth, very quick putter, and a crisp release for him here on 2. Snags his first birdie of the tournament.
It's nice to see. You know, we saw Isaac last week at the PCS Open on our premium membership coverage, the chase card from round 1. He wasn't doing particularly well, so it's good to see him getting off to a good start. I'd say 1 under through 2 is what most people are aiming for. Of course, Gannon there with a perfect start, 2 under through 2, more rare. He might be one of the only players in the field to do that.
They will have another chance here on hole 3. This par 3 sits at 95 meters, one of the most pure tunnel shots that you will see in disc golf. If you are able to hit the gap, make your way up to the green, you have a precarious drop off to the left and a long line way down there, I believe playing as casual relief this year, allowing players to not search way down if they fire long or roll away. This is a hole that is very demanding and requires a great drive. Any look at a putt from C1 or C2 is a good throw to have. I think almost every player in the field would take a C2 look every time if they could here.
And this play I thought we might see from Gannon, as last year he did the exact same thing, went with a mid-range forehand on a hole that I think the shape suits backhand the best, but for him I guess the forehand is just the more comfortable way to hit the gap.
Favorable second kick from Isaac there. I think a lot of players, to your point Elias, find it easier to hit a gap on the forehand. Being front facing, they can keep their eyes ahead, whereas the backhand, you momentarily rotate the hips, the shoulders, the spine, and lose sight of the gap, perhaps attributing to Gannon's shot choice. Ricky bleeds out to the left, not much progress. Knut with a bleed out to the left, gets an insane kick and finds himself up there on the green. That's some Norway love for a Norway player if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, definitely better than the best case scenario in his head after throwing such an early release. And Ricky struggling to get up and down for par. That's going to be a bogey. It's not really a putt you can run from 30 meters, and he even has to scramble with forehand. This should actually require some good touch. As he throws it in, no way. I told that is an unrunnable putt, but I guess with a forehand, if you're Ricky, why not just put it in?
Yeah, don't putt it, just throw it in. Insane scramble from him. Isaac had the look, gives it a good shot. That is such a Ricky way to play this hole. You love to see it. We go now to Gannon, looking straight at the drop-off behind, just outside circle.
Strong hit, very good release, even from a compromised stance. He's not going to be happy with that miss, being one of the better putters in the world. And Knut also missing. I'm surprised. Everybody watching from America, you might not know Knut very well as a player, but he's an extremely good putter. I have personally played a putting contest against Knut, and that was a scary, scary experience.
Hey guys, quick break. In addition to the first MPO feature card, we are also producing the second MPO feature card this week and next week in Krokhol. The full rounds will be available through our YouTube Premium subscription. If you want to support us and also enjoy some more content, go check it out.
The discovery of electricity, the first flight, democracy, splitting the atom, computers, modern medicine, space travel, and of course, the royal line from Latitude 64.
Moving on to one of the more satisfying holes on the course, hole number 4. The distance of 148 meters or 486 feet shall not fool you. It's playing closer to 115. So you really don't have to throw very far with the downhill grade. Most important thing, hit the gap very early, about 50 meters from the tee. And then the second most important thing, fade left, because the OB right actually comes into play. Your discs are flying slightly straighter, less overstable than you would think, because of the nose down, throwing so far downhill. So a lot of players going with something really overstable on a slight flex.
Oh, that is not Gannon's intended line, trying to go right of the tree that he went left of. But you mentioned it, Elias. Left is the side to lean towards. If you don't hit your gap, just fade left. He's done enough there to have a long look at the 2, most likely a 3. This here is an example of the more traditional line. You like to see it push straight before the fade. That space underneath the disc will naturally drag it to the left. So as long as you don't turn it over, you can get it up to flat, let it ride a little bit. Those are the best looking shots. I like the soft flex on this hole, but Ricky is playing with danger here, brings it back well inbounds, and fantastic distance control as well.
I really like Ricky's line there, but I think giving it some more height makes the shot so much safer. As Knut pure hyzer, it's a pretty safe shot. You know, he's still gonna be, wow, actually I was gonna say he's gonna be putting, but with that roll to the edge of the bullseye from a shot that looked like it was gonna be circle 2 on the left side, that's some local love.
Gannon from deep. If there were someone to potentially put that one in, it would be him, but just shy on the right. We go to Isaac, who, well into the tree line, is simply able to pitch out.
Ricky to get under par, and that is gonna be good. Signature Ricky nose down putt, just barely above the rim. That's what we expect to see from him. And as you can see, a bit of a wind gust here. The wind, as I mentioned, was tricky today, not only because of the inconsistency in speed, but also because of the inconsistency in direction. A lot of the times you might feel a headwind on a hole, pick up a more overstable disc, and then all of a sudden it would turn to a tailwind.
We move on here. Hole 5. This par 4 sits at 175 meters. OB lining the left side the entire way. This initial shot is a left to right shaping shot that players really have to choose how much they'd like to bite off. You can play the full backhand flex, but it brings that left OB into play. Being only 175, you can really play 2 placement shots. You have these late guardian trees with an entrance both on the left and the right into the green, and of course the slope rolling away on all sides of the basket, and the rough is quite thick, particularly on the right side. You really ideally want to land just short of the pin for an ideal putting circumstance.
Ricky here, forehand. This is the safer shot off the tee. A lot of people are going forehand just to get themselves into position, and exactly what Ricky has done there. He's gonna have around 75 meters to the green, which obviously is a shot that he will execute most of the times to inside of 10 meters, definitely mostly inside of 5 meters even.
Wow. Knut absolutely launches that one with the full flight, ends in bounds. Certainly in danger, and it's a little bit surprising for me to see because he doesn't need to take on that much risk, but it will absolutely pay off with a simple upshot approach. Gannon, much more common for the backhand is to just move way right and not bring that left out of bounds into play whatsoever. Two versions of the backhand there, each with a different level of risk and reward.
Isaac, I like this hole for his release. That slight nose down flat release that he likes to take. That's gonna be not very far down the fairway, but even from a drive like this, he only has about 80 meters, 85 meters maximum. Very direct shot there and beautiful touch, showing that you don't need a forehand on this hole, even though I think both on the drive and on the approach, the left to right shape is the easier one.
Ricky playing the full hyzer forehand is going to need to slow it down, and that's one way to do it. Soft roll, but Ricky, another one of those players who it feels like could put a putt in from anywhere. That one, of course, simply in circle one. Gannon looking to match his line. More favorable roll, maybe less well executed, but still very good.
Yeah, everybody inside of 6 meters there. As to be expected on this hole, this is the easiest hole on the course. It's averaging almost half a stroke below par at that 3.56 average. Knut here, 7 meters left, being the furthest one out. And there is the putt that we expect from him. Very solid. You can see the nice flat release he has. Really like his angle.
Ricky here in Norway has been in great spirits. Did not have his best performance last week at the PCS Open, but briefly chatting with him during the transition between the two locations, was very confident coming into this week.
Yeah, Ricky was even saying that he will beat our commentary team by 10 strokes in this tournament, and he's already leading by 11, so that's a good start for him.
Mystic Wysocki.
As we're moving on to another very birdieable hole. This one slightly more dangerous though than the last. 100 meters, plays great for a backhand turnover that just holds the line to the right, doesn't really need to fade back, or a pure forehand hyzer that is skipping forward at the end. I'd say the forehand hyzer is the safer play, but if you want to absolutely park the hole, then the backhand turnover might be slightly better. Biggest danger on this hole, besides the early gap of course, is the green. You have a huge drop-off on the long right side of the green, and really don't want to run anything from maybe further than 12 meters on this hole.
A great meta angle there, filming Ricky. And he comes up a little bit short. That will be a dangerous putt. He's not one to lay things up from circle 2. That would be worth considering though. Knut also leaning towards the forehand. You really need to move quite quickly to the right as he requests from his disc. And that is really nice. It looks like it might not make it, hanging on by a string the entire way, but absolutely pure in the end. Entrances the green in an ideal way.
Gannon knows that was wide, but getting a great reaction at the end of the shot. Look at this roll.
Wow.
Landing 20 meters away, skipping and rolling to 7. I mean, he went from pretty much an unrunnable putt to almost an unmissable putt for his standards.
Isaac, the lone backhand, What an execution as well. I think the backhand playing so much harder than the pure one-angle forehand, but we see from him matching his skill set perfectly. Ricky, not afraid, not gonna miss it. Absolutely taking the birdie here on 6. What a machine. That's 3 in a row, and that is a putt that is not for the faint-hearted.
I think I just had a stroke watching that putt. I mean, I wish all of our viewers would see the drop-off behind the basket, as you can see that there are some trees further away, but there is about 7 meters of drop if you go just to the circle's edge on the long side. And these players are making the putt look easy, like there is no drop-off behind. Isaac there, even from inside the circle, making it look easy.
That was a scary catch there. That was very low right. It was, of course, strong side, and it's in. But for his putting standards, not the connection point with the chains you would like to see. However, a birdie's a birdie.
Hammes needs to get something going. And in, Adam Hammes! Hole in one! Incredible!
Here we are, hole 7, a 193-meter par 4 uphill almost the entire way. It is a natural tunnel in the sense there is no OB, but natural rough to both the left and the right. A lot of players are going to be throwing a fairway driver straight down the middle, trying to land flat, leaving them with a reasonable upshot into this green. You have a super steep drop-off to the left and long, so that small hill you see to the right of the green is really the preferred and favored landing zone of the players, most naturally shaping for a forehand approach. We have Ricky with 3 in a row now taking the box. Calls 4, I feel like, before it even left his hand. And the spectators sweat for a second, but does dig into the hill in time.
Knut taking the safer line that has less distance potential, usually puts you in a solid spot. The only problem with the hyzer that I see is that even though you almost always hit the shot correctly, the exact spot where the hyzer lands has a bit of an uphill run-up. So I think both Gannon and Knut might have the same problem there. They'll have to run a little bit uphill for the second shots, and especially going over a hill, but then flat after that. I think it's important that you get the nose down on your second shot, which is gonna be pretty tricky with that uphill run-up.
We go to Ricky first. Playing the forehand as we expect from him, and as this hole almost demands. What a shot from him from an unideal drive. Fantastic control, and the wood chips slowing him down as we just get a whiff of Gannon's chalk cloud.
Sit down.
I love this play. I love the fact that he's on the right side, but that is a bad roll. Don't expect that. If you land on the right side of the basket, there is a small puddle or a creek, a dry creek on that right side, which catches your discs really well. So if you want to miss on this hole, the right side usually collects their discs. From where Isaac is, that's going to be a tricky one to run. Another green that is just incredibly scary if you airball a putt. You might go to circle 2's edge if you airball.
Knut really leaning to that right side. Comes up a touch early, but within striking distance if he wants it. He has a look in his eye now. I do not think this is a layup. And bye-bye.
I wasn't trying to foreshadow with that circle 2's edge. As Isaac, look at that. Beautiful putt. You could see that right out of the hand. I love how his stroke is looking at this exact moment. Little turkey, 3 in a row there. Getting his front 9 up to full speed.
And just like that, Knut's birdie turns into a bogey. Gannon also with the long look. I think his execution on the upshot was quite good, just with some bad luck on the reaction. Ricky coming back at it as well, significantly closer, and a clean release for him as well, matching the 4 under of both Gannon and Isaac.
It's a good pace. I'd say the front 9 potentially playing a little bit easier than the back. Multiple of the holes on the front 9 are playing just slightly under par. Hole 7, this one playing a quarter of a stroke under par. It's not the trickiest, but talking about the trickiest, this hole is the trickiest hole on the course, judged by scoring average. Want to throw a tight flip-up hyzer off the tee, ideally, if you want to hit the fairway perfectly and get yourself into a birdie position. A very technical shot off the tee, and almost even a more technical shot on the second. Want to throw very overstable disc on a flex angle. The second shot is usually about 120 meters long, so a nice overstable fairway or distance driver is going to do. You need to be very specific with what time you move left towards the basket. So even from a perfect drive, there are no guarantees of getting up and down for a birdie.
Ricky hits the gap, settles nicely on the wood chips. A good throw from him. There's just so many ingredients that you need to get correct here on this hole to find the birdie that it is understandably the hardest. Isaac sneaks his way by as well. That is a pretty prime position. It's maybe ideal to be on the right of the tunnel if you can be, but left works well.
Gannon, very common miss on this hole. For some reason, a lot of people are early releasing on this hole. I think it's the combination of having a gap of the tee where the right side trees are slightly closer than the left side. You can see this big tree on the right. It's pretty close to the perfect line, but also you want to be moving left, so that worry of hitting the right side tree plus trying to put that hyzer angle really causes some early releases. Knut though with the other side. And what is this shot?
Surprised to see him not go with the backhand. Had the open swing similar to Ricky's shot here, but Knut errant in the tree line, Ricky in the OB island there, the intermediate OB between the landing zone of the first and second shots. Gannon simply looking for a placement back into the fairway. And that's done well. From that position, he can certainly look to save the par. Isaac here, now the lone birdie chance on this card, if it is going to be found, but he has so much distance left. Is going to need a shape, a flex that fades left at the perfect time, and this is not it. The early left tree line will leave you little to no gaps available. It's so difficult to get progress through the early left that we will get to see what he's with, but I would say even par might potentially be difficult for him now.
Knut, he's far enough down the tunnel where he actually has a flat to hyzer shot to the green, which is ideal. And you can see even that shot wasn't quite perfect. I believe getting through the trees, he's going to have a look for par, which honestly a look for par on this hole is pretty good. There were no more than 4 birdies on the day on this hole, and half the field, pretty much half the field, getting a bogey or worse.
Ricky going high and wide from the OB island. Looks to have entered at a nice time. Our catch cam does find it, and that's well executed now to try and stop the damage. One of the best spectators out there.
Isaac was able to find a gap, pretty impressive. As you said, that short left side can be really tricky.
Lethal on the green. Knut finds the chains and secures the par. As you mentioned, Elias, effectively a half stroke on the field.
Gannon, you can see, using the chalk bag excessively. It was a very hot conditions today, pushing 30 degrees Celsius. A lot of players were sweating in their hands, but that is not a problem for Gannon, a veteran user of the chalk bag. And to be honest, the hot weather, I don't think it's that bad. They are, you know, they're sweating, but they're not cold. There's some wind, not so much wind though, and no mosquitoes. As commentators in our outdoor commentary booth, we're getting absolutely eaten right now.
But we do it for the fans. Ricky getting eaten by this hole, taking a bogey and falling back to 3 under. Hole 8 is a great showing of where a player is at in terms of their precision and power. Go to Isaac now on the green, finding his stance on an awkward lie. You see him looking to get balance on the placed foot. Isaac, traditionally a very fast putter here, taking his time for the footing, but now that he's there, he lines it up. He does not deliver. Unfortunate way to tap in his own bogey.
Yeah, a bit of a half spit out there. That looked like a putt that could have caught on another day, just not today.
We have here hole 9, an 85-meter, significantly uphill par 3 the entire way, shaping as a tunnel. You have these thin birch trees to both the left and the right, and an elevated basket at the end. A lot of players are going to throw something slightly understable, shaping it up the hill. It's certainly attackable though, being one of the shorter holes on the course, playing, however, closer to 100 or even 105 meters.
Gannon pulling it to the right, and I very much agree with you on the distance point. A lot of players actually disking up to a fairway driver here, which you would not expect somebody of this level, of this caliber of players to be throwing fairway drivers on a hole that is only 85 meters long. But this one playing uphill, and if you hit it short with a fairway driver, you usually take that nice skip up the hill. So we saw a couple of good shots there. Knut missing on the left side, which on this hole is the right side to miss. And Ricky with a picture perfect shot. This one should roll down the hill as well.
Filters back nicely. And I like that shape for Isaac's backhand release. It's very natural for his preferred shape. Gannon makes his way up there. We go to Knut now. Healthy putt, high, confident on the pole. No timidity whatsoever from Knut on the green.
Knut playing with a knee brace on. He has had some knee injuries in the past. Fortunately able to play at this stage of the season though. As we're finishing up the front 9, everybody on our card in decent scores. Knut with a lone 2 under, everybody else at 4. That is about the pace you want to be setting in order to catch some of the hotter rounds of the day. These guys know that the hot round in the clubhouse at this time was, I believe, 8 under par. And there you can see Jacob Blair, Raven Newsom, Evan Smith all shooting 8 under. Plenty of players just behind them. These guys all have a chance to even shoot the single hot round of the day.
There is no doubt they have made our feature card for a reason. All very capable players. Knut, the lone European, representing for the feature card here in Norway. We appreciate you joining us immensely. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and you can check out the MDG Media online shop for merch, discs, and more to support this premium European disc golf coverage. And make sure to join us for the back 9.